The development of labor laws in India reflects the country's economic, social, and political changes over time. From the colonial era to the present day, these laws have aimed to safeguard workers' rights while considering the needs of employers and the economy. The legal framework for labor in India is extensive and intricate, and it has undergone many revisions to align with evolving priorities, international conventions, and demands from the labor force. During the colonial period, labor laws in India mainly focused on regulating labor in growing industries like plantations, railways, and textile mills. The British government enacted several labor laws in the late 19th and early 20th centuries to oversee working conditions, primarily to ensure the smooth functioning of colonial enterprises rather than to protect worker welfare. One of the earliest labor regulations was the Factories Act of 1881, which aimed to improve working conditions in factories, with a limited scope that focused mainly on regulating child labor and mandating basic health and safety measures. Another significant law was the Indian Trade Unions Act of 1926, which legally recognized trade unions, granting them the right to negotiate with employers and represent workers. This was a crucial step toward organized labor movements. After independence in 1947, India adopted a constitution that recognized labor rights as fundamental to social justice. The government passed several significant labor laws in the first few decades after independence to enhance workers' rights and improve working conditions. These laws aimed to protect workers from exploitation, particularly in the industrial sector, and reflected the government's focus on economic development and social justice as outlined in various five-year plans. Challenges in implementation of India's labor laws have been quite significant due to the vast informal economy, weak enforcement, and the complexity of regulations. The politicized labor movement in the 1950s and 60s led to frequent industrial disputes. However, in the 1990s, the focus shifted towards creating a more business-friendly environment while still maintaining workers' rights. The liberalization of the Indian economy in 1991 marked a turning point in the evolution of labor laws. Economic reforms focused on deregulation, privatization, and opening up the economy to global markets, which in turn led to a rethinking of labor policies. The industrial relations landscape started to change, with an increasing emphasis on flexibility in hiring and firing, easing restrictions on contract labor, and reducing the influence of trade unions in some sectors. In recent years, there has been a concerted effort to simplify and consolidate India's complex labor laws. The Indian Parliament passed the Code on Wages in 2019, which consolidated four existing labor laws: the Minimum Wages Act, the Payment of Wages Act, the Payment of Bonus Act, and the Equal Remuneration Act. This marked the beginning of comprehensive labor reforms aimed at making the regulatory framework more efficient and transparent. In 2020, the government passed three additional labor codes: the Industrial Relations Code, which aimed to streamline industrial dispute resolution and promote ease of doing business; the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code, which consolidated laws related to health and safety across various sectors; and the Social Security Code, which expanded the coverage of social security to more workers, including those in the gig economy.